Evening, America. I am the big red one guy, reminding you that together we must break the machine. Supreme Court allows Virginia to remove non citizens from its voter rolls. Virginia argued that a lower court misinterpreted a federal voting law. The U.S. Supreme Court voted 6-3 on October 30th to allow Virginia officials to remove suspected non citizens from the voter rolls. State officials reportedly removed the names of 1,600 individuals believed not to be U.S. citizens from Virginia voter rolls in recent weeks. The court did not provide reasons for its emergency order, but Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson dissented. Of course, the usual fucking suspects. They're the three Marxists on the panel, indicating that they would not have granted the order. The application in the case, known as Beals versus Virginia Coalition for Immigrant Rights, was filed with the court on October 28th. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit found unanimously on October 27th that taking the names off the voter rolls within 90 days of an approaching federal election violated the National Voter Registration Act. But see, in this case, they were fucking criminal aliens. Federal elections are scheduled for November 5th. The Supreme Court previously held in Purcell versus Gonzalez, in 2006, that courts should not change rules close to an election because doing so creates a risk of causing confusion. Virginia counted that legal provision is not relevant because the names being removed are not those of actual U.S. voters. And there is the fucking caveat. The fact that we even have to have this fucking discussion, that criminal aliens are not allowed to fucking vote in our elections, that we shouldn't even be having this discussion. But that argument violates basic principles of statutory construction by focusing on differently worded statutory provision that is not at issue here and proposing a strained reading of the quiet period provision to avoid rendering that other provisions absurd or unconstitutional. That's what the Fourth Circuit said. Virginia had not demonstrated its appeal was likely to succeed or that it would suffer irreparable harm should the appeal be denied, the Circuit Court said as it affirmed on October 25th, ruling by the U.S. District Judge Patricia Tolliver-Giles, who is a Biden judge. Giles wrote that Virginia was still free to cancel the voter registration of non-citizens individually or to investigate non-citizens who register to vote or who vote in Virginia's election. The ruling applies only to Virginia's systemic effort to remove non-citizens that began after August 7th, she said. In the application, Virginia said it objected to the district court decision because less than 2 weeks before the 2024 presidential election and more than a month into early voting, the district court ordered applicants, Virginia and its election officials, to place over 1,600 self-identified non-citizens back onto the Virginia's voter rolls in violation of Virginia law and common sense. So what you have to understand is in the state of Virginia, when you're registering, they ask you on the registration form, are you a U.S. citizen? So if you don't check yes, or you just leave it blank, you automatically get fucking flagged. All right. You get put on the freaking suspicious list that you might not be a citizen. All right. But the thing in Virginia is that even if you get taken off the voter registration roll, erroneously, and you are a U.S. citizen, right? But you just didn't fucking check the box. Let's say you missed it. Okay. Can't really miss these things, but let's say you missed it. All right. You can, the day of election day, you can go back to freaking your poll and register right on the spot if you want to, or you could just go to the board of elections and prove that you're an American citizen. But in these cases, these people are not fucking proving that they're citizens. So Virginia wanted to take them off the voter rolls. What you need to understand is that the DOJ is suing several states because they're trying to do this. Here we go. And he said, in the application, Virginia said it objected to the district court decision because less than 2 weeks, and I said that already. Okay, less than 2 weeks before the 24 presidential election and more than a month into early voting, the district court ordered applicants, Virginia and its election officials, to place over 1,600 right back on the road rolls in violation of Virginia law and common sense. Virginia said the Supreme Court should stay the district court ruling because it is based on misinterpretation of the National Voter Registration Act, which does not prohibit Virginia from removing non-citizens from its voter rolls. The ruling would also impose significant cost, confusion, and hardship upon Virginia, creating a massive influx of work for its registrars in the critical week before the election and likely confusing non-citizens into believing that they are eligible to vote. The Supreme Court's new order says Giles' ruling and returns the case to the Fourth Circuit for further stays Giles' ruling, and returns the case to the Fourth Circuit for further hearings and appeal that is still pending there. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin praised the new ruling. This is a victory for common sense and election fairness, he said in a press release. So, like, this shouldn't be. This is This isn't rocket science, okay? Um, Illegals shouldn't have the right to vote, period, in our country. They don't. All right. Even I believe, even if you're a resident, I'm not sure if you have the right to vote. If anybody knows that, put that in the comments because that is information that we should know. I'm under the it's an assumption, okay, that I don't think if you're a resident you can vote. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm like, I feel like you can if you're a legal resident, right? Like you got your green card and whatnot, and you know, you're in the process of getting your citizenship. So if anybody knows that, please drop that in the comments and let me know. That way we can educate people on that. All right. And listen, we just shouldn't be doing this, right? Like this is not, again, this is not rocket science. Like we really shouldn't be freaking having to fight these things out in court and whatnot. It's the obvious. Criminal aliens don't have the same rights we do. Do they have basic human rights? Yes, but in my opinion, and in many other legal scholars, they don't really. The Constitution doesn't really apply to them as much as it does an average citizen. Not that they don't have basic rights under the Constitution that they can, especially under freaking due process and whatnot. They are afforded those rights, but other things they're not. And in other good news, so we can end this on a freaking good note. If you've been paying attention to social media, you see that the shenanigans going on in Pennsylvania, in Bucks County, the police were sending people away, the cowards that they are, that specific police station. And, on the last day of voting, they were also sending people away at like 1:30. They weren't letting people do their votes. So, we got that information here. So breaking, Trump campaign wins huge lawsuit to extend early voting in Bucks County, Pennsylvania after GOP voters were turned away. The Trump campaign won a huge lawsuit on Wednesday to extend early voting in Bucks County, Pennsylvania after Republican voters were turned away. Earlier this week, Bucks County Emergency Services shut down the Doylestown in-person voting line early on the final day. And here's a video of this
It's 2:41 and they are ending the line.
violating people's fucking rights. This is why people fucking hate cops in the United States right now. And the good cops are getting shitted on because of two fucknecks like these two motherfuckers. Okay. Anyway, according to the Bucks County election website, Doylestown was scheduled to close at 5 p.m. Eastern time. They were sending people away at like 1:20. So just so you know, you later Wednesday on a Pennsylvania judge sided with the Trump camp and extended early voting through Friday at 5 p.m. So that's like a freaking good thing. All right. If you live in Pennsylvania, get out there. Okay. You have now to Friday at 5 p.m. You have 2 more days of voting because they turned you away. And I think the way that early voting works is it's kind of like mail-in ballots, right? Like you could go, you can register to vote, you can get like a ballot, and then you can drop it off. But I don't believe it gets counted until election day. It's not like going to an actual machine and stuff like that. So people were trying to drop their ballots off and whatnot, or get a ballot, fill it out, sign it, and do what it is that they need to do. So now, the good thing is that in Virginia, voter rolls are going to get cleaned from illegal immigrants. In Pennsylvania, in Bucks County, all right, the Pennsylvania judge sided with the Trump campaign when he incorrectly, by the way, you cannot stop people from voting. If they're online, that's why people are being told if you're online, stay on fucking line, don't get off. All right, because of shit like this. And now a judge in Pennsylvania has done the right thing, thankfully. All right. The Supreme Court has done the right thing. Now, if you're a state that has this issue with illegals in your state and you know it, your AGs should be fucking suing right back, okay, to get these people off. You should just follow suit. The Supreme Court has now set precedent that if illegal aliens are not allowed to be on voter rolls, okay, you should just fucking remove it. Let somebody sue you. Election days next week. It doesn't make a difference. Just do the right thing. Take fucking criminal aliens off your voter rolls, no matter what state you're in. All right, you should do it. We know that the blue states aren't going to do it because that's part of the way that they cheat. Anyway, I'm the Big Red One guy signing out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Share this video, please, as well. Okay, share it with your family, with your friends. God bless you all. God bless America, and I'll